What up, my peeps? It's your Knucker Big Rucker back at you again with another action figure review. This time courtesy of Hasbro Marvel Legends. And today is Throwback Thursday. First installment of such an episode adventure / event. And I figured we may as well kick it off with a bang by presenting to you, or in a lot of cases with you guys, representing to you, Fang Foom. Yes, indeed, we're talking about the largest, at least up until Stiltman has come. I should say tallest Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. As you can see, I can't even get him all in frame. Yeah, it's just, it was pretty problematic to try to get him. If I wanted to get him all in frame, I'd have to move the camera back and then he'd be out of reach. I'm 6'2", got some nice long arms, but I ain't packing like that. So anyway, yes, here we have Fang Foom, and he was a part of the Hulk wave from the year 2008. He was the Build-A-Figure, and it took 9 figures, or at least the wave was, it contained 9. I'm sure, if I recall correctly, all 9 were required. And the figures in that wave, what was the other thing about that wave? Oh yeah, it, if I recall correctly, the wave was broken up into 2 separate release periods. So you got a portion of the wave, I think like maybe, I want to say 4 or 5 were in the initial release, and then sometime later the remainder. So if it was 5, then the last 4 figures, or vice versa. But I believe it was 5 and 4, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been 6 and 3. I don't recall. That was 2008. So, but anyway, the figures that were in this wave were the Savage Gray Hulk. You had King Hulk, which was based off of World War Hulk. You had She-Hulk in her savage attire. You know how her first appearance, where she was just in a white. I want to say it was a hospital blouse, or something like that. Scar. It was called Son of Hulk at the time. We didn't know his name yet to be Scar. We just knew him as Son of Hulk. The Wendigo, which, even though the articulation in the Wendigo was lacking, it was it was a good looking figure. I just wish that it had better articulation, but it looked like the Wendigo that we're used to. We've gotten the Wendigo since then as a Build-A-Figure, and based off of the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure book, and they changed the head, but the head sculpt, the face, is a more modern take on it. But I'm sure the majority of Legends collectors, myself included, would have preferred having the classic head sculpt. But it is what it is. Also, the Absorbing Man came with this wave, and classic Green Hulk also came. It was they had 2 different variants. The gray and the green. I could tell you that at the very least, I can't recall exactly what released when, but I do know that the Gray Hulk and the classic Green Hulk were separated by their releases. So you got the one with the initial release, and then Green Hulk came after, and Doc Samson, and finally the End Hulk. Anybody that knows anything about the End Hulk, it was a story. Marvel had put out a series of stories, self-contained stories, entitled The End, and it was certain characters and it was a look into their futures, their distant futures, near the ends of their lives, if they were, basically mortal. And there was a book, a story about the Hulk in this series, The End, and it was way in the future, because the very nature of the Hulk, he's essentially immortal. The caveat is he's immortal as the Hulk. Okay, so Banner isn't immortal. So every time Hulk reverted back to Banner, Banner continued to age normally. And this went on for who knows how long, until Banner was a decrepit old man. And every time Banner reemerged, it was fewer and fewer times. The gaps, they extended out more and more, because Banner was coming to the end of his life. And it got to a point where Hulk would not revert back to Banner, because that might be the last time that he ever reverts back to Banner, because Banner would die. So it got to a point where Banner turned into the Hulk for the final time, and I believe the way the story ended, the Hulk could actually feel Bruce Banner go within him. And that's how it ended. And so Hulk was forever, at that point he was just the Hulk. And it's wild, because technically there was no Banner within him, but there was. The body of Banner, it still lies within the Hulk. It was in that storyline that is when we really came to see that the Hulk is, without a shadow of a doubt, the ultimate survivor. He will do it, and it's just instinctive. It's not like he's, it just happens. You've already heard stories, both within the comics and in the movies, where the Hulk, Banner, I should say, had gotten to the point where he was done with this and tried to take himself out, and the Hulk wouldn't let him. That's happened both in the movies and in the comics. So, that's how that went down. But that was those were the 9 figures in the Wave. And like I said, the Wave came out in 2008. And I believe it was packaged as a like this huge box set at San Diego Comic-Con of that year. And you could get him that way. And the box set, I remember, if I recall, it was the box was white, and it had the Hulk like jumping or coming down. It had an illustration of Fang Foom on the box, and it had the Hulk on the box too. So I hadn't gone to Comic-Con yet. My first time at Comic-Con was in 2012, so that happened well before I got my chance to go there. And trust and believe, I had attempted to get into Comic-Con for years prior to that. I finally got in 2012, and up until this madness that I will not name kicked off back in 2019, I had gone every year since then. So been very blessed with that, very blessed, and I still retain my badges for 2019. Hopefully Comic-Con will proceed as we hope it will this year in 2022. But anyway, back at it here with our guy Finn of Clan Fang Foom. Now, I don't know if that's the case. Finn Fang Foom, I'm going to attempt to get up close and personal with him so we can see what's up a little bit, and then we'll get on up out of here. Okay, this is the best I can do. I've got him up there, and I've got to hold him up. I actually have him suspended. Technically, his tail is resting on my table, but this is the best I could do to try to get him up close. So you can see, this was, like I said, 2008, and that was part of what we'll call the dark days of Marvel Legends, but this was one of their better offerings. And like I said before, there were good scopes in that wave. In fact, I may go one at a time with those figures as Throwback Thursdays to illustrate it. So I may just actually do that. So, but just a thought. Anyway, looking at Fang Foom, very, with the green and stuff, it was it actually had some wash in there, as you can see. He's got the mouth, which is articulated, by the way. So yeah, that's pretty good. The neck was, you see, I can get articulation that way. He could very minimally go up and down, as you can see, but he can 360 it. He also has articulation at his neck, as you can see. I wish that there was a slit so that way we could rear him back, but we can't. His arms could rotate 360. It could go out. He had a bicep, it's not like he's gone, has a bicep swivel. He's got double jointed elbows. Still pretty good. You see, mine is still tight. And he also has wrist articulation, and he can swivel and he can hinge it just like that. Turning him to his back real quick, you see that he's got wings, and they're just on ball pegs right there. So they articulate. You can get them out. See, you got it like that. Make it all the way in. You can get them to be that far out. They can be retracted that far, so that's pretty cool. He's got diaphragm, which doesn't give you too much. It only goes back about that much, and forward only about that much. You can go left and right. See, it's an action a builder figure because it wanted to snap off, but you got that. You're not going to get much in the way of left and right. Legs, you could actually flail the leg out that way. You've got, of course, up and down, rear and forward. He's got knee articulation, but you're not going to get much because you see how that is kind of reminiscent of the lizard. Had the same type of deal where his legs were already bent, and he had minimal articulation there. So you see, I can move the leg that far back. I don't know exactly how much that's going to do, but that's what you get right there. He's got his feet. You can swivel it left and right. No ankle pivot. That wasn't a thing back then. And that's as far forward as you can get his feet up, and you can get it up like that. So as far as pointing the toe, that's about the size of it right there. Tail. His tail comes in two sections. You could swivel it there, and then on the second half here. So when you don't want the sculpt broken up, if I go back there, that's the way how the tail looks. So that is our boy Fang Foom. And once again, sorry I can't get him all the way in. I think he's going to want to fall over if I just try to stand him up on his own that way without him resting on his tail. But yeah, that's what we got right there. See if I can turn him forward. And I'm going to move my hand and hope he doesn't go forward, because I'm not going to cut it out if he does. That's just the way how it goes. But yep, there he goes. So, yep, Fang Foom. I didn't mention the red eyes and the nice work in that mouth, but yeah, that's pretty good. And he also had, since I want to be thorough, take a look at his fingernails there. They were all painted, as well as the claws on his feet. So that was pretty good. And like I said, there's a wash on the figure. So you gotta love that. We don't really see that too much these days, even though we get better articulation and better anatomical parts and appearance of our figures these days. So, but like I said, this was one of the better offerings from Hasbro back during that time, and still a part of my collection. I actually just finally took him down. I had him in a display, which I'm going to show like right here, and it was of him, as you can see, taking down the super helicarrier, which was from San Diego Comic-Con 2012. I told you that was my first one, so there you have it. That year, the Marvel offerings were the Marvel Universe. It was under that line because it's at the 3.75 scale, the super helicarrier, and what was the other thing? Oh yeah, how could I forget? Uncanny X-Force 3-pack, Wolverine, Psylocke, and Archangel with the crazy shiny wings. That were, yeah, so, and those were my first SDCC action figures, you know, to my collection. So they, and me, I'm crazy with it because, you know, I'm going to display them. So, you know, right off the bat, I got to get two. So, yeah, anybody knows about that super helicarrier and you know the size of it, I got two of those jammies. And I've got two of the X-Force, Uncanny X-Force 3-pack sets too. But yeah, here we have Fang Foom. And I'm going to end it right there. But I'm glad that we have this guy. And I don't know if we'll ever see Fang Foom again. A, and B, if we were, how big would it have to be? Because anybody who knows about Fang Foom in the comics, that he is much larger than he is scaled for the 6-inch line right here. Much larger. I mean, right now he's a big boy and he'll still look formidable with any type of display you set up because of how large he is. He's still going to look like, you know, he give any character a hard time, and he has. He's fought the Avengers. He's fought Iron Man by himself back in the days when Iron Man was being portrayed as one of the more powerful heroes. So anyhow, I'm going to end this review. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Liking definitely affects the algorithm. Whether you like or dislike, do whatever you feel, but do something. All right? I just read up on why do people, myself included, when it comes to me viewing YouTube videos, why do people not like or dislike? And no shade to any of you guys, but because I'm included in this, what I read said it just really comes down to laziness. We'll be clicking because we'll look at 3 to 5 or even more videos, and we just get to clicking to get to the next video. So we don't hang around long enough to like. So I'm asking you to do that now. I probably should ask at the beginning of the videos, but that's something I have to figure out. Anyway, please like, share, and definitely subscribe. Tell a friend. You know, if you like what you're hearing and seeing, support. I'm trying to get there so I can continue to, you know, bring some plastic pleasure to my neighbors. Anyhow, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. Until the next time, remember, the hunt continues, and I'm out. Peace.